Hello YouTube. Now, for those of you that know me, you know I've been driving my 2018 Ford Focus for about 5 years now, and I've never had a single problem out of her. But I recently bought that brand new Prius you can see out in the background over there to do my driving with Uber. Because of that, I left old Alice here sitting for about 2 months and didn't crank her up, didn't take her nowhere. That's my own damn fault. And the thermostat got stuck. It happens. So now she's getting stuck all the time. So this video, we're going to go ahead and we're going to replace the thermostat in this 2018 Ford Focus. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you real quick right here, right there, straight ahead. We see them two hoses? That is the thermostat. Now it's under this manifold and it's beside all this nonsense and it's in a little tight space. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to take off this headlight because it's only a couple screws and it'll give us a whole lot more room to work. Inside here we're going to have two hoses that pop off and there are 3 screws that we're going to back out. Right off of there. Might be a little stuck because it's braced in. We're gonna go ahead and honestly I could just leave it there because now I can reach in and ain't even gotta disconnect the housing, but that'd be really silly. So now we got that off, we've got plenty of room to work. Okay, now, because I'm assuming you already know how to drain your coolant out, I didn't go through that step as the first thing in this video, which I probably should have done. It's super simple, guys. You get under the vehicle, there's a little protective plate that keeps rocks and shit from flying up at your engine. You pop it off, it's got little plastic clips. And then there is a screw at the bottom of your radiator. You put you a big bowl underneath it, pull out the screw, you drain it in there, and you save it for later because coolant's like $12 a gallon. Before we go taking this piece off, we are going to take the new one we bought and we're going to look at it and make sure that it looks the same. Because if it doesn't look the same to the eyeball, it's not going to look the same. You know, obviously, you're going to put in the wrong piece. Now, what this does is, first off, it lets us know that we have the right piece, and second, it lets us know where our screw holes are going to be if we couldn't see them. Like from our perspective, we can only see this part of the engine and the thermostat, so this screw would be hidden. Since we can see where it's at here, we already know where we need to be feeling inside. First things first, we're going to go ahead and take our needle nose vice grips. We are going to remove the hoses. The reason we're using vice grips is because once we do these pressure clamps, I want to make sure it stays squeezed. Okay, now that we've got that, we'll just back her right on off. Make sure that we're off the housing rubber. Now that that's loose, we'll wiggle the hose and pull. Let that do that. All right. We got our clamp out the way. Pull out the other hose. I may have to go back in there now that I've got a little more room. So we ended up needing a 1/2 inch for this particular guy. Maybe it's been replaced before, but look at that screw that came out. It's got the nut head on top. Sexy. I'm gonna set that right there. Go ahead and and pull the other two out. Alright guys, so we got all 3 bolts put back in, and now what we're going to do is we're going to put the hoses back on. So I have pre-clipped this one, and I'm actually just going to take it and go over top of the housing. Then once it's over top of the housing, I'm going to take the hose and wiggle jiggle it on. Wiggle jiggle all the way up until it butts in. Right here, there's a lip. Then I'm just going to take my screw and clamp right back off. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. That's a good spot. Unclamp. And we double check that we got a good firm hold. Okay, we are ready to go ahead and put the light back on and then fill up our coolant. Now after I drained mine, I already put my screw back in and put the plate on, which is why I didn't show you during this video, because I didn't know I was going to make this video until this morning. Alright, now as always we double check that there's no leaks. We've already filled our fluid back up. It's getting sucked inside, and there's no drips down here, so we are done. Thanks for watching.